What is going on, everybody? It's TheZachMichael here, and today we are going to be creating a complex piano melody from scratch. I'm going to be walking through how I create my piano loops. A lot of the times I have a couple different processes, but today we're going to do one of them, and this is how I make more complex sounding stuff. So let's go and get right into it. Now, for piano sounds, I like using a lot of stuff in the complete control, but also I've used Keyscape and even like Nexus pianos and that all sort of thing. So to make a complex piano, you can really use whatever sort of sounding piano you want. It doesn't really matter, right? Whatever works and sounds good. So the first thing I like doing is coming up with the bass line. Now we're going to create this whole melody in A minor, and then we may pitch it. A minor is all the white keys. It just makes it a little easier to click things in piano-wise, a little faster, and now we can just go from there. So for my actual progression of chords, we're going to start with the bass notes. Now I like making a 4-chord progression for this one, and what we're going to do is have these first 2 notes change, and then these last 2 be the same. Because of that little bit of repetition, it's going to give us room with other sounds and with the top line to create some interest. And the thing about like a complex loop is that you want it to be complex, but also simple at the same time, because obviously you want someone to put drums in this loop and get a song with it and that sort of thing. And also just like complexity, you want to like balance complexity with not doing too much. Because if you're just doing too much and you have like 1,000 different notes going, it's going to be very hard to get like a nice sounding melody. So next, what we're going to do is copy these, pitch them up, and then we're going to fill in a note in each of the chords. Like this. We have chords. And then we're going to do the same thing with underneath. If you don't know what I'm doing here, I'm skipping one white note, right? So look, between here, like, see what I mean? This is the chord, right? Here's all the notes. I'm skipping this note, and skipping. Yeah, skipping this note, skipping this note, skipping this note. Deleted. And then there's your chord. Something like that. Yep. We're going to take each of those notes, pitch them up. Let's increase the length of that. Let's strum these. Strum's a very simple way to make it sound more human, more realistic. I like it to be. Let's just get started on some easy, simple top line. So if I want to move this note a little off grid, I hold the Alt key and then I can move it wherever I want. I'm doing this because I want to create this little transition over here. Just like that. So the way that I did that, for anybody who doesn't know, I held Alt to put this where I want. I select both of these, click Control L, and that's how I got that to play like that. Now, we're just working on the top line. I'm also going to take each of these notes and move them in the chord. So there's a little more rhythm within the chord. That's something I talk about a lot. You can add melody and rhythm within your own chords. Another thing I'm doing here, I could copy this over, but by making it again, but making it slightly different, it's going to give it more of a human feel. Like if I copy this, the player isn't going to play these transition notes if a human was to play it at the exact same speed. So that's why I'm not just copying this over. By doing it a little differently, you give room for this like human sort of feel. And what we're going to do here is do like a little triplet, I think. We're not going to do the triplet there. Sometimes triplet piano works within stuff, but for what I'm trying to do today, that's not it. I'm going to take this E and make it a G instead. It'll sound a little bit better. And there's a G in this chord here too. And we're going to pitch these, shorten them. That. Turn on the velocity is heavy on that though. We're just creating more to the top line. Like that. We're going to duplicate this over. Now I'm removing this section of the top line. I just want that at the end there. I like to have my complex piano melodies resolve a little bit differently. So that's why I kind of have this going up here. And the last thing I'm going to do is just randomize the velocities on here. That sounds good. Now we got to add some more stuff to make this more complex and just kind of make it more full, because that's something I like doing. So I'm going to open up Electra X and try to find like a nice pad. Like this. I want something that doesn't have like, I want it to have character but not be overbearing. Sometimes you'll get pads that just have a little too much like going on character wise. Like this one I like because it still has like room, if that makes sense. And so what we're gonna do is just copy the chords with this pad. We're just gonna have that in the background, but it already just makes it a little bit bigger sounding. That's what we're gonna add. The next thing, I like to include a synth bass on a lot of my loops. You can always arrange it so that way there's sections without the synth bass, of course, but I like putting a synth bass on a lot of my melodies just because it can help a lot. And this is my favorite one in Omnisphere right here that I use. That just comes stock with Omnisphere, so you don't need any bank or anything like that. I turn this down, and I already know how I like it, so I like to put a little bit of fast distortion on there. And so we're just gonna do something like this. And just have that down there. Yep. And just to show you that like Nexus pianos as well work, we're gonna add a Nexus piano on this. This one here. Turn off the decay. I'm gonna filter this though. I don't want a lot of the lows. I want the highs. Go like that. And we're gonna copy this over, but then we're gonna be removing a lot of the notes on the top line. That, go ahead. Now what we're gonna do is just kind of create our own thing that's a little different here. Forgot to remove those notes. I'm gonna copy this over. Let's just do this. So now let's just get started on a little bit more of the mixing. I want to add some more mids to this piano. And I'm going to throw some reverb on it. Pad's cool, just take out a little bit of the highs. And this I want to do a little more too. Just like that, right there. We have a complex piano melody. So now we're just going to get started on the arrangement of this. I'm just going to render out each of these sections so none of the reverbs bleed over into the different sections. So if another producer who I collaborate with on this loop like wants to cut stuff up, wants to, you know what I'm saying, like use different sections when they're arranging. So I just have a section here, 8 bars with everything, 8 bars with everything but the synth bass, and sections with just one of the main instruments, sections with everything, just the piano and the one sound, and then all the stems at the end right here. Just like that. That's how you create complex piano melody. It's actually usable in your beat. Like it's complex, but there's also enough room here to add drums, to add a vocal, to even add more instruments on top of this if you want. If you guys enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and check out ElizabethRecords.net. Thanks so much for watching. Head on over to ElizabethRecords.net if you'd like to support me. You can purchase VST expansion banks, drum kits, loop kits, and MIDI kits that'll level up your production there.